Hi, everyone. As a neurologist with more than 25 years of expertise, I'm Dr. Leila. I help patients understand the intricacies of brain health, particularly as we age. I have supported innumerable families as they have experienced the trauma of unexpected strokes, those moments that take away their freedom suddenly. And I have a very important and personal thing to tell you today. If you're over 60, that innocuous bowl of fruit on your kitchen counter may be concealing a silent threat to your brain. Imagine going to bed feeling fine and waking up with a numb arm, slurred speech, or worse, the inability to identify your loved ones. As someone who has held patients' hands during those harrowing hours, I can assure you that these are actual lives impacted by something as trivial as a daily snack. They are not simply statistics. The good news is that information can protect you. Continue reading to learn about 9 common fruits that may be increasing your risk of stroke without warning and how minor adjustments might preserve your health. Your next meal could mean the difference between surviving and thriving, so let's get started. I'll be giving more life-saving tips for those golden years, so if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell before we begin. Please leave a 1 in the comments if this resonates with you. If not, a 0 will help me clarify things for you. Let's start with bananas. We've all been taught that they're nature's ideal mood enhancer because they're portable, soft, and high in potassium, which is good for the heart. When I was younger and a resident, I would take one in between shifts because I believed it was properly nourishing my body. However, I have witnessed the negative aspects of caring for elderly patients. Our kidneys no longer filter as quickly as they once did when we were over 60. It is more difficult to manage the potassium spike when you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or medications like ACE inhibitors or diuretics. Too much accumulates, causing blood vessel constriction, cardiac rhythm abnormalities, and yes, the development of clots that can reach the brain directly. I recall Mr. Thompson, a 68-year-old former Texas teacher who was meticulous about his garden. Every morning, he would add a banana slice to his oatmeal and wash down his blood pressure medication with orange juice, a habit he vowed to follow for energy. His wife discovered him slouched in the kitchen one cool fall day, with one side of his face sagging and his words coming out incoherently. According to scans, he had a stroke because of extremely high potassium levels that caused his heart to pound uncontrollably during the night and clot while he slept. It was that healthy behavior that was at odds with his aging body and his prescriptions, not smoking or junk food. Tragic, yet preventable. According to my knowledge, one giant banana contains more than 400 milligrams of potassium, which is plenty to tip the scales if your kidneys aren't functioning properly. Stiffened arteries, sticky blood, and no second chances are all consequences of eating at night when blood flow is sluggish and hydration is low. Limit it to half a banana in the morning with almonds or Greek yogurt to delay absorption if you're over 60 and on heart medication. Avoid baked foods and banana smoothies, especially right before bed. Additionally, you should always discuss potassium-rich foods and medications with your doctor. Doing so could help you maintain your independence. But if you were surprised by bananas, let's talk about grapes. Those delightful, juicy, tiny balls frequently adorn our snack tables or the visits of our grandchildren. They look so innocent, so different from candy. However, they are like sugar explosives in disguise for people over 60 who have unrecognized vascular problems or unstable blood sugar. Grapes, particularly the seedless ones that are so common in our shops, provide a quick burst of fructose and glucose that causes blood sugar levels to rise quickly. As we age, our insulin response slows down, and our blood vessels become more fragile. Tiny rips where clots love to develop are caused by the inflammation of the artery walls caused by that sugar surge. No signs until it's too late, but over time, it's a recipe for constricted airways and obstructed brain flow. Consider Mrs. Evelyn, a 72-year-old Florida librarian who took great satisfaction in eating healthily. Mid-morning knitting with a bowl of red grapes and no drinks. She couldn't remember her grandson's name one afternoon as she was stitching, her hand shaking and her vision blurry. A brief clot caused a mini stroke, a transient ischemic attack. Because of those unregulated surges, her A1C had slipped into pre-diabetic territory, causing low-grade inflammation in her cerebral arteries. This is supported by research from the American Heart Association, which shows that seniors who have frequent blood sugar swings have a higher risk of stroke because these swings impair endothelium function, which is responsible for maintaining blood flow. Grapes digest extremely quickly. When consumed on their own, they thicken blood and narrow blood vessels, particularly when dehydrated or under stress. My recommendation: never work alone or in groups. During active hours, limit to a modest handful with cheese or nuts. Avoid them unless your doctor gives the all clear if you have diabetes or are taking blood pressure medication. Over time, something that seems like a treat could impair your memory and equilibrium. Let's switch to a tropical theme: pineapple. Known for its digestive enzymes, that piece of tangy sweet sunlight is frequently my patient's guilt-free dessert after dinner. What worries me as a neurologist, though, is that it can disrupt coagulation, raise blood sugar, and aggravate acid reflux, particularly at night. When used in moderation, the enzyme bromelain from pineapples aids in digestion by breaking down proteins. However, when used excessively, it thins blood, especially when used with anticoagulants. When you combine it with 16 grams of sugar per cup, a high glycemic load that floods your system, consumption at night results in wasted energy that stresses your vessels while you sleep. The acidity? Many seniors experience silent reflux, which increases the risk of morning stroke by causing microaspirations that lower brain oxygen levels. Since pressure variations put stress on delicate airways, research published in the Journal of Stroke and Cerebrovascular Diseases links nocturnal reflux to an increase in ischemic events. After dinner, Mrs. Rodriguez, a 75-year-old California choir director, decided to have pineapple chunks instead of ice cream because she felt it was lighter. She had a posterior circulation stroke that affected her balance, and months later she woke up confused, stumbling, and speaking slurredly. Tests showed reflux symptoms, platelet abnormalities from bromelain, and increases in hyperglycemia. A perfect storm was generated by her healthy practice. Eat pineapple early, in little amounts, and avoid taking it with blood thinners or empty stomachs without a doctor's permission. Is it nighttime? Absolutely not. Calm, not turmoil, is what your brain loves. Watermelon is the summertime hydration hero, isn't it? 90% water, juicy wedges, and picnics. However, it's a fruit-based diuretic that thickens blood overnight for elderly people on diuretics or with borderline low blood pressure. Blood becomes viscous and slow-moving when dehydrated, which increases the risk of clots in aging arteries. Naturally, circulation decreases during night. When fluid loss is added, brain oxygen levels fall precipitously. Arizona veteran Mr. Jenkins, 81, enjoyed nighttime slices to stay hydrated while taking his heart failure medications. Collapsed and woke up feeling lightheaded. Stroke from clotted, dehydrated blood. Concentration shouted from his hemoglobin. Diuretic fruits make this worse in older people, according to the Mayo Clinic. Consume electrolytes like salted nuts early in the day. Consult first if you are taking water pills because morning dryness is a warning sign and not typical. Oranges, vitamin C symbols, and breakfast staples are the next citrus. However, their furanocoumarins interfere with the metabolism of drugs, making them ineffective or increasing the toxic levels of statins or blood pressure medications. Vessel spasms or irregular clotting are caused by this instability. Mr. Patel, 70, of New York, took his cholesterol medication every day, along with fresh OJ. Accumulated medicines led to a pressure crash and clot, mild stroke. Harvard research warned of these interactions in polypharmacy seniors. Limit consumption, stay away from medications, and choose low-risk clementines. Your pill bottle is affected by your fruit bowl. Ask your pharmacist. Apples. One a day keeps the doctor away. But Honeycrisp and other sweet varieties raise blood sugar levels, causing vessels to become stressed by changes in acidity and insulin levels. When linings become inflamed, clots form. Mrs. Harper, 78, of Ohio, developed insulin resistance as a result of her afternoon apple snacking, which ultimately led to an evening stroke. Select protein-rich tart Granny Smiths. Over roller coasters, stable fuel. Cherries are antioxidants, but salicylates can cause blood thinners to overthin because they mimic aspirin. The risk of hemorrhagic stroke increases. Mr. Klein, an 82-year-old man from Illinois, had a brain bleed after taking a low-dose aspirin every night, slow and sneaky, occasional, sparse, and doc-vetted. Strawberries, purines that raise uric acid levels for inflammation, neurotoxins that build up in aging brains, and the dirty dozen pesticide kings. Mrs. Wallace, 79, of Washington, had a stroke due to oxidative stress after consuming smoothies every day. Only organic, rarely. Keep an eye on your kidneys. Mango, 45 grams per cup sugar bomb, quick spikes, and mangeferin, which slows down the breakdown of drugs. Clots, pressure dips, and overloaded medications. Mr. Lee, 84 of Hawaii, collapsed in the morning after drying slices. Protein paired, tiny bits during the day. Caution, heart medication users. That's the 9. Wow. Are you feeling overburdened? I understand. Fruits were meant to be easy pleasures. However, aging rewires everything, including interactions with medications, weakened vessels, and slower organs. Too many healthy habits have backfired in my experience, such as the widow who lost her speech after eating fruit salads every night. But choices are what give you power. Safe choices? Berries are low in sugar and high in polyphenols, which protect vessels and have been shown to slow down cognitive decline. Nuts and green apples, consistent energy. Avocados, slow potassium, good fats. Lemons and limes are flavor enhancers and detoxifiers. Use pomegranates sparingly for spike-free antioxidants. Time them correctly. In the mornings, evenly, and never at night. Listen to the warnings your body is whispering. Take good care of the years you've earned. What will be the one change you make? Give a 1 if your comment is helpful. Share, like, and subscribe to Thriving Well-Being.